Finally tonight, of course, this weekend marks the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing, when astronaut Neil Armstrong took that one small step for a man and one giant leap for mankind. Well, 5 decades later, a new era of commercial spaceflight is being ushered in, fueled by some very wealthy entrepreneurs. Brennan takes us into the final frontier.
50 years ago,
the Eagle has landed.
The first humans stepped foot on the moon. The historic Apollo 11 mission cinched America's dominance in space, a lead that continues but waned after the Cold War's close. Now, that's changing.
Liftoff.
Companies like Elon Musk's SpaceX pioneer reusable rockets that cut the price to go to orbit, ushering in a new era of billionaire-backed space exploration that gives the U.S. more options as it rethinks its strategy for the final frontier.
Now's come the time for us to make the next giant leap and return American astronauts to the moon.
NASA's new lunar program is Artemis, named after Apollo's twin sister, the Greek goddess of the moon. It would send Americans back in 5 years, a feat that can only be achieved with the help of the private sector. Chad Anderson, the CEO of early-stage investment firm Space Angels, says we're in an entrepreneurial space race.
We've gone from a dozen privately funded companies in the world to now 476 companies today. They've raised $22 billion of equity capital.
One startup Space Angels has invested in, Astrobotic.
It's kind of like a railroad to the moon.
Astrobotic, which builds robotic landers, has almost $100 million in contracts, including recent awards from NASA.
We offer NASA a much more affordable opportunity to regularly fly payloads to the surface of the moon. And that's going to open the doors wide open to scientists and explorers and technology developers all over our country and all over the world to begin to understand the moon in much better ways.
It's just one example. Companies are focusing on everything from rockets to moon mining to habitats. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin has spent the last 3 years designing its own lunar lander, Blue Moon. Another example, the Lunar Gateway, a space station that would orbit the moon, which several contractors, including privately held Sierra Nevada Corporation, are competing to build.
The purpose of that is for NASA to launch exploration missions from there and support exploration of the moon and then eventually other locations.
But it will all take more money. Up to $30 billion over 5 years, according to NASA. For Sierra Nevada's Lindsay, a former space shuttle commander, it isn't a matter of whether space goes mainstream, but a matter of when.
I want to someday walk into a school and say, "Hi, I'm Steve, I'm an astronaut," and all the kids look at me and say, "Big deal, there are a gazillion of those." That's my goal.
For Nightly Business Report, I'm Morgan Brennan.